Hey guys, Evan Kozak here with Thoroughbred Custom Homes. We're out here at one of our job sites in Salina, Texas. Today we're talking about how we manage air and water with all the holes that we drill in the side of the house to get plumbing, electric, whatever it may be to the outside of the house, and why it's so important to take care of it. So in a perfect world, we would build these houses completely solid, no holes in them whatsoever. The problem with that is we wouldn't have any windows, so there'd be no light inside. We wouldn't have any electrical outlets on the outside. We would have no hose bibs on the outside. So the unfortunate reality is we have to drill holes inside the house. That presents a problem, obviously, if water or air can infiltrate those things, because those are things that we don't want inside of the house. So we have a way that we do that here at Thoroughbred Custom Homes. We use a few simple things. We have a quick flash here that we use. We use some zip tape, some zip stretch tape, just an X-Acto knife, a roller, and a paddle. And I'm going to show you on one of our holes in this house and show you how we kind of take care of that. And we use a belt and suspenders approach. Let's go take a look. So when we build our houses, we use the zip system sheathing. That's this green board that you see here. It's OSB sheets that are covered in a water protective layer that's already built into the system. That way we don't have to use any house wrap. It's another video, but we like to use this system because it uses tape and all the seams between the boards here, which keeps water and air from coming into the house. Now, as I mentioned, we have to deal with other holes inside of the house from plumbers, electricians, and others. So right here is a good example of one. We've got a plumbing penetration here with a drain clean out, and then we've also got one for an electrical outlet right here. As you can see with this drain right here, the cutout is bigger than the pipe. In a perfect world, they would be the exact same, but we don't live in a perfect world. So we have to figure out a way to cover this to make sure that no air and no water is getting into the house. All right, so as you can see, we actually already have our poly foam that's back here. This is not made to keep out water, that's for sure. It is made to help with air insulation a little bit, but we need to make sure that this is good from the outside so that this foam never gets touched, because this is actually inside the house and we don't want air or water in there. So we use a belt and suspenders approach with this, meaning that we do two things. That way if one fails, the other one doesn't, and we still keep that air and water out. So what we're gonna be doing today is using some of this stretch tape to seal up this penetration. And then after we've got the stretch tape on there, we're gonna add this quick flash on top as a second layer. All right, so the first step in our process here is we use the stretch tape from Zip System. All right, and great product. And all we're gonna do with it is basically stick it here to our sheathing. And just like the name implies, we're gonna stretch it. And we're gonna get it nice and tight around the pipe here. And we start on the bottom first because we do everything in a shingle-like fashion. That way when we put our top piece on, these seams are covered. All right. We'll grab our second sheet here. Get the backing off of it. All right. And then this piece is going to go right on the top here. So we'll get this top nice and flat to make sure that it's tightly sealed. We'll bring it down in. And again, we're going to wrap it around the pipe. And then, as you can see, this hole is now pretty much sealed. There shouldn't be any way for any water or air to get in here. It's wrapped 360 degrees around this pipe. But again, if we're talking about belt and suspenders, this is the belt. Now it's time for the suspenders. All right, so thanks to the magic of editing and starting and stopping the camera, I've now trimmed this piece up a little bit. Doesn't need to be done, but just like it to look nice and clean, even though it's going to get covered up. And then we also went ahead and rolled it, which is required by the Zip System to make sure that it sticks very good. All their tape is pressure sensitive, so we've got it rolled now. And again, we're pretty much sealed up. But it's time for the suspenders, and we choose the Quick Flash product because I haven't seen anything out there that's better for this type of application. So really simple. Slides right over the top here. And as you can see, we now have another seal around the pipe. And then what we're gonna do to keep water from coming up behind here, because obviously we can still get water and air behind, is we're gonna go ahead and tape this up. We do this just like we do windows. And we use the same tape as windows, which is the zip flashing tape. So what we'll do, we'll apply our tape to the sides first, just like a window. And the final piece will go across the top, being our most important piece here. With gravity, any water that's going to come down is going to come from the top, so it's always going to be our last piece. And then the final step in this installation here is rolling the tape. All right. So we went from having this hole back here to covering it with tape as a first step, then covering it with the quick flash as a second step, and covering that quick flash in tape here. This means that there's very little chance of air or water getting into this hole. We leave the bottom of it untaped, just like our windows, to make sure if, God forbid, any water does get back there, it's got a place to escape. All right. So that's the installation techniques that we use whenever we're dealing with any exterior holes in the side of the house here. Taping it beforehand goes a little bit above and beyond. Again, belt and suspenders approach. That really helps with the air infiltration into the house. Adding on the quick flash on top of that just greatly reduces the risk of any moisture or air getting into the house. And it really just makes sure that our clients enjoy their homes for many, many years to come. Please give us a call if you're interested in building a high-performance custom home anywhere in the North Texas area. We'd love to talk to you.